Plato famously once said, "Rap the Rapper is a rapping dog." Most people know of this little guy as he was quite a popular PS1 character. He got a PSP remake, PS4 remake of the PSP remake, and an anime. He had some merch made that I need more than anything in this realm, and a sequel on the PS2. So it's safe to say Prap the Rapper did quite well for himself. A few years later, after Mr. Prap the Rapper's debut, another game was made, Lami, a game in the Prap the Rapper cinematic universe that has no PSP remake, no PS4 remake, no anime, but for some reason it does have an arcade game, and it's nowhere near as well known as Mr. Prapper, but it's still well known enough. Both Lami and Prapper the Rapper did quite well on the PS1. But as far as the Prapper the Rapper universe goes, that's about it. Other than cameos and his appearance in the best game of all time, PlayStation All-Stars, that's all he rapped. So following Prapper the Rapper's success, Nana something would release two more games, the previously mentioned Lami and Vib Ribbon, both doing nowhere near as well as Prapper, but reviewing well despite their low sales. However, poor Vib only ever came out in Europe and Japan, crippling its sales even further than Lami. Sales aside, Vib Ribbon is a wonderful game with an amazing minimalist vector art style and a great sound design, combined with really fun gameplay very different from Prapper and Lami, topped with the limitless replayability thanks to the fact you can use your own CDs to generate levels basically forever, as you can see here, but sadly it did dog AIDS. So it would be safe to assume that would be it for poor Vibri. However, that's not the case, at least in Japan, as there were two more games that would come out, those two games being Moji Ribbon and Vib Ribble, and I wouldn't blame you if you'd never heard of them, because nor had I until a random eBay search one day, and there it was. So what exactly are these games? Well, starting off in release order, Moji Ribbon. More a spiritual successor to Vib Ribbon than anything else, Moji Ribbon is a Japanese exclusive that will most probably stay that way. The art style this time is very different, there are more similarities between something such as Okami than anything else with its ink wash painting style, opposed to the vector-like graphics of Vib Ribbon. Alongside that, similar to the rapping dog the game before him, Mojib is an aspiring rapper, at least I think so. The game itself is a rhythm game about our little guy writing words around in a circle, and then in turn read them out in a rhythm, rap if you will. It's really hard to understand much of anything, as well it's in Japanese, but from what I've gathered it seems really cool. The music is, well, as the norm with these games, great. The art style is, mwah, chef's kiss. Despite the fact that this game is very, very Japanese, I don't even think it would ever be released outside of Japan. I would recommend you check it out. There's lots to enjoy. Despite the Japanese text, you don't have to know much Japanese to play the game itself. If the game was to be released in English, I may have understood it a bit more, but from what's here and what I've been able to piece together, it's a very interesting game with lots of content, well, more than Vib Ribbon. However, it lacks one thing that made Vib Ribbon great. Vibri. And I guess they thought the same because a year later we got Vib Ribbon. This game is more of a direct sequel to Vib Ribbon, you know, having Vibri in it all this time. But what is Vib Ribbon? Well, it is a strange little game. To start off with, the gameplay is as simple as can be. You are Vibri, you have to jump on a picture and collect what the game calls Peter characters. Yes, that is their real name, by the way. You get them by jumping on the picture enough times until they come out, and then you just collect them. That's basically it. You fail by running out of time or hitting an enemy. And that's the gameplay. Visually speaking, it's a complete contrast to the original Vib Ribbon being bright and colourful, unlike the black and white void that Vibri was trapped in last time. However, the game has a silly little feature similar to the one back on PS1, where this time, instead of using your own CDs to generate stages, you can use your own pictures to make your own stages. Not as cool, but still a nice addition. Well, nice depending on what pictures you use. But that is basically it for Vib Ribble, and it for the entire Vib Ribbon trilogy, if you can even call it that. Despite the 3 games we got, only one came out in Europe and none came out in America. And after Vib Ribble, that was it. Due to low sales and lack of care outside of Japan, it kinda left them with a weird incentive to continue the series. And to be honest, that was it for the company who made them as a whole, as after Vib Ribble, they just kinda died. I mean, we got a mediocre Wii game, some Tamagotchi games, and a Kinect game for some reason. That was it. A sour end to a company who made some really good games, but as time goes on, people look back and realize, wow, Vib Ribbon is kinda baller, and with Parappa getting a remake on the PS4, who knows, maybe Vibri will one day get a remake too. But that's all I got for today. See you around, Space Cowboy.